Once upon a time, in a magical kingdom far away, there was a young prince named Leo. Leo was not like the other princes in his kingdom. He was kind and generous, and he loved nothing more than spending time with his people and exploring the kingdom's many secrets. He was adored by all the people, but his father, the king, was not pleased. The king wanted Leo to be more serious and focused on his royal duties. One night, as Leo lay in bed, he was visited by a fairy. The fairy was small and delicate, with shimmering wings and a radiant smile. She introduced herself as the Fairy of Dreams and told Leo that she could take him on a magical journey to see his kingdom in a new light. Leo was fascinated and excited, and he eagerly accepted the fairy's invitation. The fairy sprinkled some magical dust on Leo's eyes, and he drifted off to sleep. When Leo opened his eyes again, he found himself floating in the sky. He looked down and saw his kingdom spread out below him, but it was not the same kingdom he had known all his life. The buildings were different, the people were different, and the land was covered in shimmering stars. Leo was amazed by what he saw, and the Fairy of Dreams explained that they were exploring a dream version of the kingdom. Together, they flew over mountains, swam in sparkling seas, and met strange and wonderful creatures. As they journeyed through the dream kingdom, Leo saw things he had never seen before. He saw the world through the eyes of his people and learned how his actions affected them. He saw the beauty in the smallest of things and learned to appreciate the wonder of the world around him. When Leo finally woke up, he felt changed. He knew that he had seen his kingdom in a new light, and he was determined to be the best king he could be. He spent the rest of his life making the kingdom a better place for all its people, and he always remembered the lesson he had learned in his dream. From that night on, Leo became known as the king who cared, and he was loved by all his people. And every time he went to bed, he closed his eyes and hoped that the Fairy of Dreams would visit him once again, taking him on another magical journey through the world of dreams. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the heart of a vast forest, there lived a young girl named Mia. She was known throughout the village for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. Mia loved nothing more than exploring the woods that surrounded her home, and she often wandered deep into the forest, following the sound of trickling streams and the rustling of leaves. One day, while out on a walk, Mia stumbled upon a clearing she had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a small cottage, covered in ivy and moss. Mia approached the cottage cautiously, peering in through the dusty windows. To her surprise, she saw an old woman inside, sitting by the fire. The woman was hunched over a spinning wheel, carefully spinning a strand of gold thread. Mia was fascinated by the woman's skill and asked if she could learn to spin too. The old woman agreed and took Mia under her wing, teaching her the art of spinning. As the days passed, Mia grew to love her new skill and the old woman's company. But one day, the woman suddenly vanished, leaving only a note behind. The note explained that the woman was actually a fairy, and that she had been watching Mia for some time, waiting for the right moment to reveal herself. The note also revealed that the fairy had a special task for Mia. In the heart of the forest, there was a magical tree that had the power to grant wishes. But the tree was guarded by a fierce dragon, and no one had ever been able to get close enough to make a wish. Mia, being brave and adventurous, decided to take on the challenge. She gathered her courage and set off into the woods, determined to find the magical tree and make her wish. After a long journey, Mia finally reached the tree. The dragon was there, breathing fire and fiercely guarding the tree. But Mia remembered the spinning skills the fairy had taught her, and she began to spin a thread of gold. The dragon was mesmerized by the shimmering thread, and as he watched, Mia was able to sneak past him and touch the magical tree. Mia made her wish, and as she did, the tree burst into a shower of glittering lights. Mia's wish was granted, and she returned to the village, forever changed by her adventure in the woods. From that day on, Mia was known not just for her kind heart, but also for her bravery and skill as a spinner. And every time she looked at the thread of gold in her hand, she was reminded of the magical tree and the amazing adventure she had been on. Once upon a time, in a world much different than ours, there lived a young girl named Ada. Ada was a curious and ambitious girl who always dreamed of exploring the world and discovering new things. However, in her world, people were born with a special ability that determined their future. Some were born with the ability to control fire, while others had the power of flight or telekinesis. Ada, on the other hand, was born with no discernible ability. Despite this, she refused to accept her fate and decided to set out on a journey to find her own unique ability. As she traveled through strange and unknown lands, Ada met many incredible people who taught her various skills and abilities. She learned how to speak multiple languages, how to build machines and devise us, and even how to train animals. Eventually, Ada's journey led her to a hidden cave in the mountains where she met an old wizard. The wizard was known throughout the land for his incredible knowledge and wisdom. Ada explained to him her quest for unique ability, and the wizard listened carefully. After pondering for a few moments, the wizard told Ada that her unique ability was her curiosity and determination to learn and explore. He explained that while most people in their world relied on their abilities, Ada had the potential to become the most powerful person in the land simply by harnessing her insatiable curiosity. Ada was overjoyed at this realization and decided to use her newfound understanding to help others. She traveled the world, seeking out those in need and helping them in any way she could. She even worked with the old wizard to create new machines and devise us that could help people in their daily lives. Years passed, and Ada became known throughout the land as the Curious Wanderer. She was celebrated for her boundless energy, her thirst for knowledge, and her ability to help anyone in need. And although she never had the ability to control fire, fly, or move objects with her mind, Ada became the most powerful person in the world simply by being herself.